From the Arctic to the Atlantic, there are key moments in the lives of all marine creatures. They face challenges to find enough to eat and to avoid being eaten. Even the largest animals on the planet are facing new obstacles when hunting alone. So some behemoths have started cooperating with former enemies. Drones are helping scientists to uncover new behaviors by revealing details never seen before.
Oh wow, this is amazing, huh?
The Arctic super predators are also super smart.
That's when you understand how clever these orcas are to be able to coordinate a hunt with 20 individuals.
Humpback whales and orcas are creating new techniques together that help both species to thrive in their constantly changing marine world. Every fall, the frigid waters around Jourdain in northern Norway host an exceptional natural event, one of the greatest gatherings of fish in the world. 20 billion herring swim up the Norwegian coast to spend the winter above the Arctic Circle. These humpback whales spend summer and fall in the fjords to fill up on food before they head south to the Antilles for the winter breeding season. But up here, the humpbacks have some formidable competition. Orcas can hunt seals and dolphins, but they also want a piece of this fish pie. When 3,000 whales and 2,000 orcas share the same hunting ground, strategy and dominance become key. Finding the herring is challenging for both hunters. This herring shoal is enormous, up to 125 miles long, 6 miles wide, and extending as deep as 300 feet. Andreas Hyde and his crew have spent the last 5 years sailing the fjords of Jourdain on the Barba, following orcas and humpback whales. They've been trying to understand the hunting strategies of both predators and the complex relationship between the orcas and the humpbacks here. Because despite 5 million tons of herring that have come to winter along this coast, catching them is difficult for both species of whales.
So what's to be understood, it's not easy for a large orca to catch a small herring about 20 centimeter long or 30. So it requires quite a fine-tuned hunting technique. And you have different types of hunt, and the most famous one is the carousel feeding, where you have a large pod of orcas, maybe 15 to 20 orcas, diving down and bringing up a fraction of the herring school. And the herring as a schooling fish will stay together instinctively.
The carousel feeding technique is rare and nearly invisible from the deck of their boat. The Barba crew practices patience and tenacity.
Yep, 2 o'clock, 200 meters.
That's amazing. You got it.
Wow. Okay, another see them.
Orcas, 12 o'clock, 50 meters.
Get ready, 50 meters. Get ready, guys.
The surface of the sea has started bubbling, as though some gigantic beast lurks in the depths. The only clue to a carousel hunt is the cloud of bubbles released by the herring as they swim quickly up from the depths. The fish are trying to escape an orca pod that has surrounded them. Over the course of 4 expeditions and hundreds of hours of following the orcas, Andreas has dived a dozen times into the middle of a carousel hunt. Because of these extreme dives, he is able to explain the complex strategy of these killer whales.
I've had the great fortune of being in the water on a couple of occasions, observing this, seeing the entire pod of orcas encircling the herring, flashing its white bellies to scare the herring into a tight ball. You have orcas swimming underneath to keeping the herring together, because the herring instinctively wants to go into the deep to get out of this situation.
The orcas are too large to catch an individual fish within this swirling movement, so they needed a different strategy.
And then during this hunt, they will swim in and tail slap the herring. And when you're in the water, you can hear a large explosion, or it's actually a cavitation, but you can hear a large sound from the tail hitting the herring. So what happens then is that you have maybe 50 to 100 herring that is either killed or stunned, and they're just floating helplessly in the water. And then you have the orca coming in and eating the herring one at a time.
Each orca needs to eat around 200 herring every day, which means their hunts can last for hours.
And that's when you understand how clever these orcas are to be able to coordinate a hunt with 20 individuals. It's not like the humpbacks that we're hearing in the background, which engulfs a large volume of water, hoping that there is some herring in there. They're much more picky, the orcas.
When a humpback gets too close to the carousel hunt, the killer whales pretend to bite their tails. The larger whales soon understand that they aren't welcome here. An average orca weighs just 7 tons, compared to a 30-ton humpback. But the black and white predators have plenty of teeth. Carousel hunting is only practiced in the open sea. The crew of the Barba heads inside the fjords to observe another scenario. Andreas wants to study successful strategies the whales use when hunting along the coast.
We have a lot of herring offshore, and we have a lot of herring inshore in the fjords at the moment. We can see around us we have humpbacks here in the background, and we've had numerous orcas here as well. Often you see them using natural barriers, land and shallow water, to collectively push the herring into that bay. And then you only require a couple of orcas to keep them in check. And again, imagine if you're gonna catch a fish, it's not easy, but if you can use the land to help you, both the sides and the depth, it makes it easier.
The shallow waters and numerous rocks are major obstacles for Andreas and prevent him from navigating close to the shore.
So if you can check out this bay over there, down there, you see it?
Yeah.
Where you see the seagulls?
Yeah.
We'll check that out for some shallow water feeding.
Cool.
The team uses a drone to closely monitor the hunt unfolding along the shore.
It's an eagle. No, don't take the drone. see the humpbacks.
Many birds, blows. Yeah, everything is
There
in
we
there.
have the orcas as well.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good one. Looks amazing from here. Come on, everyone is there.
While David mans the drone, Andreas and Kevin will film underwater. The humpback whales gather in a way that uses their mass to trap the shoal of fish between themselves and the beach. From the drone footage, the team clearly sees what looks like a huge underwater ink stain, the trapped herring. The orcas hang back to watch as the humpbacks gorge on the compacted shoal. Then, the team witnesses something that has never been seen before. An incredible cetacean pact. Once the humpbacks have eaten their fill, they stay in place to maintain the trap. Now it's the orcas' turn to feed. The inventive orcas strike the school of fish horizontally, adapting their open ocean technique to the shallow water. These two species of marine mammals have chosen to cooperate rather than compete.
The more you're able to observe the orcas from different angles, the better you can understand what they are actually doing.
But the crew still has more to discover. The complicity between the two whale species will be revealed again, this time in even more unusual circumstances. It gets dark by 5 p.m. here. Beneath northern lights, the Barba sets a course towards the site of a dawn rendezvous. Sailing at night is dangerous. At any time, they could collide with a humpback, which could cause serious damage to their little boat.
Oh wow, there's a big pod of orcas behind that boat.
For the first time, a research team will be allowed close proximity to the game played between the orcas and the humpbacks when the fishermen pull up their nets at dawn.
There is an important fisheries going on in this area at the moment, where they catch herring during the night when it comes up to shallow waters. And they use a purse seiner, so they put a net around a school of herring and subsequently start pulling in the net and pumping the herring on board the boat. In this process, some of the herring falls over the sides, and also the herring tends to stay with its friends, so the herring that's caught inside the net is supported by its friends on the outside, which makes them an easy prey.
Andreas was a combat swimmer in the Norwegian Navy, and he is used to risky dives.
Max 50 minutes.
He is well known as a professional, and today he is orchestrating what he considers to be an extreme dive. Andreas and Kevin enter the water around 500 yards from the fishing boats before they start hauling in their catch. The divers use underwater scooters to swiftly approach. As they draw close, 3 humpbacks are patiently waiting beneath a net that is filled with almost 200 tons of herring. close by, beneath the other boat, the orcas are waiting for their turn. A loud noise signals that the machines which suck the fish into the ship's hulls have started up. A scene that has never before been witnessed by humans begins to unfold. With grace and goodwill, orcas and humpbacks feed side by side without any conflict. This cloud of fish scraps is an entirely new food source for the humpbacks, and the whales quickly learn to take advantage of it. They enjoy the snack, just like the orcas do. The divers are transfixed. The humpbacks and orcas only began feeding on the fishing refuse less than 10 years ago in the Norwegian fjords. During this short period of time, the clever marine mammals analyzed the opportunity and invented new strategies to exploit it. Here, the remarkable intelligence that enables them to be super predators is on full display. When the whales become too excited, the possibility of a collision with the divers grows more likely, and a smack from a 30-ton whale would probably be fatal. The situation is now too risky. Andreas decides to end the encounter, and they head back to their boat and the surface.
Thank you, guys. Whoa.
You got it.
Whoa, whoa.
You have a big jellyfish.
Like maybe 15 orcas.
Get on the boat.
After more than an hour in the icy water, emotions are running high.
Done. Yes.
They were still alive. It was fine. Yeah, but it was tough, but it was fine. I was a little worried about coming out with the boats and all that. The animals saw us, the four of us. You have to be careful around whales when they charge. There were whales opening their mouths right in front of us. It was incredible.
As autumn draws to a close, the polar night gradually darkens the world of the orcas and humpbacks. In just a few days, the darkness will be constant. The herring season will be over, but Andreas and the team will continue their research. This trip has revealed that in Norway, humpback whales and orcas have declared a truce after traditionally competing for prey. Soon the humpbacks will leave the Nordic winter behind and head to the clear turquoise waters of the Antilles. In 8 months, they'll return to hunt with the orcas again. Perhaps these two clever whale species will continue to invent new hunting strategies together.